So I mean, in terms of hotness, you could do a lot worse. Super true. Definitely. Hey everyone! Hi Sayori. What you guys doing in here? There were words. We were. Are you talking about boys? I guess yeah, we kind of are. Great! Cause I've got a fantastic boy dog. Sayori closes her eyes and takes a breath. My boyfriend is a really good kisser. Sayori. When my boyfriend kisses me, my mind goes completely blank. Everything I might have been worried about goes away. Short-term fears, long-term problems, whoosh, gone. I just kind of focus on the feeling of the kiss and that's all the world is. As long as we're kissing, it's like all my problems go away. Sometimes I get kind of the same feeling just by looking right into his eyes. It's amazing. But I have to be really careful. It's actually such a high for me that there's always a huge come down. And stopping the kissing once I started makes me crash a little bit. And then all the problems come rushing back at once. But while we're kissing, it's like being transported temporarily to heaven. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. And I came to say that we need you up on the roof when you can, Natsuki. Literature club business. Bye, everyone. Huh, well, that was something, wasn't it? Yeah, it sure was. It was something super hot is what it was. The way she described it, ugh. I want a boyfriend like that. Me too. Man, you make everyone around you cool, Natsuki. Yeah, I always thought Sayori was kind of dorky, but damn. You shouldn't judge people by their cover, you know. Sayori's got all kinds of secrets to her. Are you going up to go up there now? Yeah, in a second. But before that, I want to finish what we were talking about. Oh yeah, where were we on that? Well, we were talking about whether a School 5 is the same as an Outside World 5. Which it clearly is not. I'd say it's off by 1. Like a School 5 is a regular 4. So what would happen if a regular 10 attended our school? They'd be an 11, of course. Oh, of course. Makes total sense. Of course. Everything I say is a blessing of wisdom upon you all. She's been down there an awfully long time. I wonder what she's been talking about. Probably you. Not too much, I hope. I get really embarrassed when Sayori talks about me. That's why she does it, you know. She likes the reaction she gets out of you. Ugh. Oh, don't worry so much. She's probably not saying anything too embarrassing. Although, that might depend on how embarrassing the material she has on you is. I don't even want to think about what you mean by that. I'm just going to pretend everything's really normal down there. And she's not saying anything that will shame and haunt me at this school forever. That's probably for the best. Hey, look who I brought back! Hello, Natsuki. Sup, Yuri? Much. Yeah, like what? Oh, you know, the sky. Uncounted stars and celestial phenomena. Me, relative to you. Har har! In all seriousness, I'm doing fine. I'm still not coming up with any good ideas for today's poem. Do you maybe want to help me write it later, Natsuki? You want me to help you with one of your poems? Well. No, really. I think it'd be really useful. This topic is a really hard one for me. It doesn't fit my style well. I think I could use you to at least bounce some ideas off of. If that would be alright. Well, hey, sure, if you're going to be so genuine and nice about it. But no short jokes while we work on your poem. I promise. Yay! So, do you want to hear about what my boy talk was, MC? The girls downstairs were really into it. Were they seriously? Yeah. Tell him, Natsuki. I'm not sure he wants to hear it. I probably don't. Well, he's going to hear it anyway. And it's important, true information. And he needs to hear it. Well then, Sayori basically talked up what it's like to be kissed by you. She spent kind of an uncomfortable amount of time on it, actually. But, it was totally hot. And really adorable. She talked a lot about how you kissing her quiets her brain down. And how much she enjoys that. It's true. Sometimes. Sometimes it feels like you can make all my problems go away with kisses. And I know that's not the real way to get rid of my bad feelings. But it sure is dangerously addictive. Just like everything else about you.
I'm glad to be of service, though I wish you wouldn't tell the whole school about it.
But you're so incredibly cute when you're acting shy. Maybe I'm addicted to blustering you too.
Well, you have been doing it to me my whole life.
Alright, you adorable dweebs, that's enough. Tone it down or get a room. Some of us are actually trying to eat lunch.
Speaking of eating lunch, is Monica not going to come up to eat with us? I was actually originally going to invite both her and Kenzo up here, since he's coming to club today. But did no one ask her to come up with the rest of us? I saw that you texted her, MC, but she never said anything. Has anyone seen her around today?
I've seen her around here and there. She's got that really important meeting with the student council about the club next week. So she seems pretty busy.
It's kinda nice not having her around for a while anyway.
What?
Oh, don't mind me, I was just thinking out loud.
And you don't want Monica around?
Just some of the time. But why? She's just so bossy sometimes, you know? It's like she thinks she's our mom or something. Gets old. And she's just, I don't know, always being like, Monica, you know?
Not sure I do.
I don't know. She just is always on. Always being professional leadership Monica, I guess. It's like she never takes a break to just be herself. That gets old too. So it's nice to have a break from that and just be with relaxed people, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Still, I wish she were here around right now. Feels weird to have the whole club eating lunch together and be missing just Monica. You about ready to go to work on the poem together, Yuri? Ready to receive all my sage wisdom?
Absolutely. I am looking forward to being enlightened.
Cool. Let's head over to another bench so, we don't bother the lovebirds with poetry talk. I lied to them about why I didn't want Monica around. But I don't want to lie to you. Right now, I just feel like I hate her. I don't want to be near her at all. When I am near her, I just feel so angry. I don't know why. It's okay to tell you things like that, right? Do you hate me now? Or think I'm a terrible person?
Oh, Glenn, of course I don't hate you. And it's always okay to tell me things like this. I want to be someone it's always safe for you to talk to about whatever you want. I don't really understand, but it doesn't affect the way I think of you at all. I'll always just love you no matter what, okay? If anything, it seems like you need a distraction from your feelings. Do you want a hug?
Yeah. And maybe some kisses too.
Mwah. PDA like this is against school rules, you young lady.
We're rule breakers, rebellious teenage outlaws.
Come in. Oh, hi, Kenzo. You're here early.
Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to come early and make a good first impression. You're here early too, Monica. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You've always been the responsible type.
Uh-huh. Actually, I have a bit of a bad habit of being late. I'm always busy with other projects, and I end up walking in here well after everyone else. But I'm trying to get better about it.
Like I said, the responsible type. So what do you guys actually do?
Well, it varies. We always write our poems, for one thing.
Crap, was I supposed to do that? I hadn't heard about that.
No, that's fine. You don't owe us any poems. Although we may have you write one this week. Do you, know how long you're supposed to be coming here for?
No, actually, I was hoping you or Miss Ida might know. But apparently, at the very least, I'm going to have to write some essays.
What about?
Some books and stuff we discussed in my English lit class. I think Miss Ida is mostly hoping you guys can help me with those.
Oh, is that all? We can definitely help you with that, and maybe get you done quickly.
Oh, hi, Kenzo. It's good to see you again.
Oh, hey, Sayori. It's really good to see you around and happy. How have you been doing?
A lot better, thank you. Monica.
Sayori nods curtly and heads off to her usual seat by the door.
What is up? Hey, Kenzo in the house. Good to see you again, man. How's it going? You having a regular one? A normal one? I need to research that meme more.
Clearly. But yes, I'm having a very normal one. Natsuki, right?
That's me. And don't you forget it.
Hi, Kenzo. MC tentatively extends his hand to Kenzo. Kenzo smiles and takes MC's hand, shaking it firmly. Hi, MC. We cool? We're definitely cool. I just hope you won't think we're all terribly lame after today. Poetry isn't exactly the most fun thing for some people. Yeah, I can't say I'm super into it. But I guess that's why I'm here, so that I can learn to appreciate things that aren't normally my cup of tea.
And speaking of tea, that's another thing we do here. Tea, I mean. I make tea, sometimes, for the club.
I see.
Don't worry about her. She turns into an anxiety box when unfamiliar people are around.
Natsuki.
What? It's true. Anyway, are we ready to go today? What's the plan?
MC goes and sits by Sayori and starts talking to her in a gentle voice.
Well, both me and MC haven't chosen an activity yet this semester, so one of us will do that. But first, to welcome Kenzo to the club, why don't we share the poems we wrote for him?
You guys wrote poems for me? You didn't need to do anything like that.
Oh, but we did. Or more accurately, we wrote about a topic we thought you might be interested in. Yuri, why don't you start us off? Synchronize. The galaxy moves 581 kilometers every second through the universe. The sun moves 230 kilometers every second around the galaxy. The Earth moves 30 kilometers every second around the sun. Your goal is attached to its surface, and that is spinning at half a kilometer per second, and so are you, and so is the ball. And with infinitely practiced skill, with the care of an astronaut guiding his craft to an orbital interception, but the speed of a warrior challenged by enemies, you throw the ball at 5 meters every second to begin this strange rendezvous. But the angle matters as well. Trigonometry, calculus, physics, impulses and gravity, curves and air resistance. Your body calculates it all for you, instantaneously without hesitation, until in its gentle arc, with a cumulative speed of 841.5005 kilometers per second, the ball impossibly passes through its goal, moving at 841.5 kilometers per second, a miracle of synchronicity in a disordered universe. I am told this is worth 2 points. So, what did you guys think?
Well, I think it's fantastic. Some of your finest work yet.
Is that because you helped write it?
Yup.
You know, I thought this one seemed a little Natsuki-like. It even has that characteristic punchline at the end. Very Natsuki feel to it.
But at the same time, it retains a lot of Yuri's signature style. The elegant, rich description of shooting a basketball. But at the same time, it doesn't just open or seem like a Natsuki punchline stapled onto a Yuri poem, does it? No, it's put together really well. It's kind of like the poem was written to mix their two styles really effectively. It doesn't really work without both of their main ideas. I think it works together really sweetly. So, Kenzo, any thoughts?
You guys, have a lot of deep thoughts about poetry. I thought the poem was pretty cool. I guess I never really thought about how much went into playing basketball. Kinda neat when you think about it.
Thank you. Who will go next?
I will. Ordinary. Once upon a time, I'd go to join the crowds, and I sat with them there. They'd jump and cheer so loud. I laughed and cheered myself, but I didn't really get why. Seemed like they felt excited, but I felt nothing inside. Not because I didn't get the game. That I understood quite well, but because I didn't feel alive. Just emptiness I could not tell. Now when I go, I kind of get it. I jump, my heart beats fast. Do I feel how everyone feels? Am I ordinary, a blast?
Kinda spooky, Sayori. Does everyone here...
Everyone here knows I have awful crippling depression, yup.
It's still so weird that you say that so cheerfully. You get used to it. And you know, this is kind of a first. This might be the first poem Sayori has ever written about feeling better. I'm pretty psyched about it. It's even weirder that you guys are so used to her being depressed.
They've had a long time to process it, much more than you've had. Don't beat yourself up over it, silly.
Yeah, Sayori, we have been through a lot together. Sorry if our reaction to these themes for her seems a little strange. It's just part of who she is, and we've learned to accept it. But that said, I agree with MC. It's really nice to hear something like this from Sayori. It feels like she's at a turning point or something.
The actual poem is pretty good, too. It's a little less filled with symbolism and metaphor for a Sayori poem. Much more literal and direct. But I'm cool with that. Makes it pretty easy to access.
Well, I don't want to be a stick in the mud, or go off on one of my long and considered tangents. But for me, Sayori writing about her pain was a lot of what gave her poetry poignance. This poem feels lost, unsure of itself. Obviously, that's a very, very good thing for Sayori compared to being sure of hopelessness.
And worthlessness.
And worthlessness, yes. But the strength of that awfulness is removed from the poem. It feels like there's a powerful voice missing, relative to the poems I'm used to from you, Sayori.
Yeah, I think there is. You're right, I do kind of feel a little lost with myself right now. I'm, still figuring things out a little upstairs. But yeah, the poem is maybe a little drifty because of it. I knew when I wrote it that it wasn't the same as before. But it's how I feel right now.
And that's perfectly all right. Like I said, I personally am very happy that you're improving. It's just interesting to see what effect that has on the poetry.
Okay, me next though. Tall handicap. You ever notice it's always the really tall ones who have trouble with free throws? It's weird, isn't it? They're so much closer to the hoop. You'd think they'd have it easier. They took it for granted. It's right there for them, easy and free. They don't need to spend hours practicing. But we did. The short ones can only do with skill, what the tall ones do by nature. So when skill matters, it's always the people who had to practice that you'll find standing the tallest.
Is this a tall joke, Natsuki?
No, it's a destruction of tall people. And a powerful statement on behalf of all short people everywhere.
I see. Well, as such, I think it does a good job. It's another very little run, like Sayori's.
Yeah, poetry needs flowery metaphors, rule number 1692 in Yuri's Book of Poetry Rules.
I wouldn't put it quite like that. But just for me, I like it when poetry uses symbolism to represent something in a new way. Or when something is examined from a novel perspective.
Yeah, well, I guess a poem about the struggles of being tall wouldn't be very novel for you. What did everyone else think? I thought it was very inspiring. I respect your representation of short people.
Like Yuri says, it's very straightforward even for you. But it has its point and it makes it well. I'd say it's a very effective poem.
I think we all had a hard time writing fancy poems about basketball. It's really hard to be anything other than really literal.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that Natsuki did the best job she could with what she was given. So I think she should get a lot of credit for that. Usually it really is the tall guys that have trouble with free throws. No one really knows why that is. Some people think it is lack of practice, but I'm not so sure. There are plenty of tall guys who practice their hearts out but still shoot badly from the line. Some people say that shooting with the right arc is actually harder than when you're taller. And some people say that taller players usually have larger hands, which makes long-range shots hard. And then some people say that taller guys usually do layups or dunks in close, so they have less live practice shooting. No one really knows.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Shall I go next? Zen of stress. There's a zen to it, like golf, the mastery of muscle memory, the inward perfection and stillness. But you have no time. Here they come now, furious and aggressive, to take what is yours. Your inward perfection faces external challenge. Your stillness is an emotion. You must have 1,000 different muscle memories, the right one for the situation. And your zen is the zen of perfection, under pressure, and the clock is ticking.
Hey, that was great.
Really?
Yeah. They really got across the feeling of playing the game. You really have to find your center and be at peace with yourself. But the trick is, you're under a lot of pressure to do that. This poem really gets at that whole thing.
Thanks!
Hey, if the actual basketball player says so, it must be so. I've never really played much live basketball, just like practicing my free throws. I got pretty good at it, but it's probably a lot different under pressure.
It is.
I want to be able to punctuate my poems like Monica someday. When I write my poems, I always forget about punctuation. I just kind of write it. But then I look at Monica's poems and I think, oh yes, punctuation is good for making poems better. You punctuate great when you think of it, Sayori. It's just something you need to get to the habit of.
I like the change in perspective of this poem. It starts out just generally describing things like an omniscient narrator, but then it snaps you into the perspective of the basketball player, and then you appreciate how difficult the abstract things that were being discussed really are. It's very effective.
Yes, and I like how the meter almost feels like it slows down at the end. Like time is slowing down as you try to take that last really important shot. It gets the feeling of pressure across really well. At the same time, it tries to get across that you're trying to stay cool. That's all the poem, Monica.